Well, hello to those of you listening in. Lakeisha McKnight is here. Welcome to Leadership TKO, the night show via podcast. Now, of course, I just want to say thank you for being a listener. Thank you for being connected to this podcast. And I understand that there are so many of you listening from all around the world, especially those of you who are connected to a campaign that I'm going to be sharing more information about. But I thank you so much for being connected. Now, Leadership TKO is the brand that's housed under the parent company of the International Leadership, Education, and Development Company, also known as the iLead Company or LMBI. So you can feel free to visit our website to learn more about the brand. And you can learn more about the brand by visiting www.leadershiptko.com. But again, I thank you so much. And I know that there's many of you that's listening in from all around the world, across the United States. There's some of you listening in from Canada. You might be from South Africa, from Germany, from the United Kingdom, from Australia. I know there are some of you listening in from China and Hong Kong. Thank you so very much for tuning in. And I just want to say I appreciate you. I thank you so much for your listenership. And if you're listening in live, no matter where you're from, go ahead. There's a chat area. I want this to be interactive as I'm moving forward because I believe there's nothing more boring than a dull episode where there's no interaction. So we're here normally on Mondays at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the night show. But because we're on this campaign, I try to be here Monday through Fridays at 9:00 p.m. Now, when that campaign is going to end, this whole campaign is going to be going on until the end of this year. So definitely stay tuned. We have some great information to share with you. So if you're listening in live, definitely let me know that you're listening in. Feel free to leave a comment at any time, though, even if you're listening into the replay, because right now it is about 9:02 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when I am airing this. And I'm actually airing this from Chesapeake, Virginia, here in the United States. So I definitely will check out and see who is live. I do see Janine is live. So thank you so much, Janine. You are a steady listener, and you definitely let me know that you're listening in, and I appreciate that. So definitely feel free to share. There may be a share button where you can share this on your timeline, share this in relevant groups where there are women, particularly those women who want to be further empowered and supported. Definitely share it with them because I believe that this podcast will create many breakthroughs for women around the world. So again, if you're new, you want to learn more about this brand, Leadership TKO, you want to visit www.leadershiptko.com. Now, I am going to tell you what TKO stands for. It stands for Truths That Have Kept the Overcomer. And one thing that I found to be consistent across the board when it comes to high-powered, high-performance leaders is that they run and they do things by way of principles, frameworks. And I shared the 12 frameworks of this brand maybe a couple weeks ago. And if you're connected to Spreaker online, feel free to look up our previous episodes where you can learn more about those 12 frameworks or download the Leadership TKO app. We're actually in the Google Play Store for Android. We're not quite on in the Apple market yet, but definitely on Android. Feel free to download the app. It is free. And all you need to do is look up leadershiptko.com and you will find it. And I do see, of course, that Regina Mixon from California is in the building, the virtual building, that is. All right. So thank you so much, Regina, for being present as well. Again, feel free to share on your timeline, share that we are live on the podcast. And of course, we know that we have women from all around the world that are listening in at this particular point. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start off by greeting those of you who are new and fresh. So thank you so much for taking the moment to listening. And most of the time, I do have women predominantly between the ages of about 34 to 45. But we do have women outside of that range that listen in. So I don't want you to feel like, man, this is not for me. But it is for you because just the majority of those within that age range are listening in. But we do have a lot of women who are younger and older that are listening in. So it's not a problem at all. We work together as one. And I will say first that the Leadership TKO and iLead company, essentially, the mission really is to partner up with universities, with associations, with small businesses to build winning leaders. That's what I'm here to do. That's what my team assists me in doing. It's not just myself operating this business, but I do have other people part of the team that helps me to push and propel the mission forward. And I know that I can't push this mission forward without you as well. So I want to say thank you so much for connecting and helping us to push this mission forward. Thank you so much. Now, we do have subdivisions within Leadership TKO. We have launched the Leadership TKO for Women brand. We actually officially launched that at the end of February, early March of this year, when I was in Asia. So I went to Asia and myself and 5 other women, we published a little snippet of our upcoming book, which is Leadership TKO for Women. That book is going to be released hopefully at the end of this summer. So we're going to give you an exact date pretty soon. But we released part of the book in Asia. We're excited about that. When I went to Thailand and spoke before a women's audience, this is women from all around the world that was present there. And just had a wonderful opportunity to network and to get to know women of different cultures there, opened up my eyes to many things. And it's leading to different things blossoming. Okay, not just, of course, the subdivision brand, but we're soon going to be releasing a coaching program. And I'm going to be actually having an information call about that tomorrow night. But there's going to be a coaching program for women who want to become global women leadership coaches. Okay, and so we have an information call about that happening on tomorrow night at 8:00 p.m. So if you want information about that, feel free to ask, to connect with me. Send me a message right here on the platform. Comment, say, send me information about the information call, and I will get you plugged in. We do have a group chat that has already been formed. Okay, so we do have that. Also, I want to let you know that we are launching another subdivision, which is the Leadership TKO for Authors. Okay, that subdivision, we actually released the first video, a part of the launch today, and it's in a special group on Facebook. So if you want to get access to information pertaining to that subdivision and want just to be a part of the launch process, feel free to make that request as well. We don't mind sharing information. That's what we do. All right, so getting back to Leadership TKO for Women, that particular subdivision has propelled the campaign forward, which is the Born to Lead Global Women's Leadership Campaign. Now, the whole objective of that campaign that we're on right now is really to unify women all around the world so that we can stand as a united front to bring awareness to women's issues around the world. And also, of course, to build female leaders. And we know that we can't. I can't do it without you. You can't do it without me. If we come together, we unify, we actually knock down these invisible barriers and things that try to divide us and come together and bring awareness to solutions that exist out there, as well as creating solutions, we would actually be well off as women. And so we would encourage you to be a part of this campaign. And we encourage you to share this podcast whenever we're here on Mondays at 9:00 or even any day during the week. That way people can tune in and learn about the campaign at the same time. So if you have people who are interested, they're just like, I want more information, share with them how they can listen in Monday through Fridays at 9:00 p.m. That way they can get plugged in. They'll know what's going on with the campaign and they can make an educated decision for themselves. So again, we have the campaign going on. We have the primary website where you can learn more, which is leadershiptkoforwomen.com. That's the main website. But if people want to jump in, if you're listening in and you want to jump in, you say, you know what, I'm all for this mission. Feel free to just jump in by visiting www.borntolead2017.com. Borntolead2017.com. All right. So when you do that, when you go to that website, you're going to see a questionnaire. Complete the questionnaire on a laptop or on a desktop. And then it's going to send you to a Facebook group and we will accept you into the group so that you can be plugged in as to what's going on with the campaign. Now, there have been many opportunities that have come and gone so far in the group. You know, we allowed people to create videos, to be a part of the promotional video for this campaign. And of course, we've put out there a way in which people can write articles about their experience with child abuse and how they've overcome. We're going to actually post those particular articles on blogs to bring awareness to their triumphant experiences in their lives. We also recently put out there a link inside of the group where if you want to submit a 200-word paragraph or an audio, an MP3, that we can share on this podcast about how you've overcome your experience of child abuse or neglect. And the reason why we're highlighting child abuse is because this month in the United States, we focus in on that topic. And I know that topic is dear and near to the hearts of many people out there, including myself, because as I was sharing during the last couple of episodes, or, a part of this podcast, is I've experienced that as well as a child, sexual abuse. And a lot of people don't like to really talk about it, but it's a real issue that needs to be brought out in the light. Unfortunately, some families try to keep it undercover, right? They try to address it on their own, which is fine. I definitely know that praying and different things like that works, but you have to help and empower other people by talking about it because it's real. Okay, it will help free someone. So here is what I'm going to share with you. Yes, I've experienced it, but I've been able to press on and overcome. And I've been able to help other people around the world in so many ways do so as well. I've provided life coaching for women who have struggled with this area. I've helped, of course, other children as well who are currently going through it. So I know the power of connecting with someone who's been there and who's done that, who has overcome as well. All right. So here's what I'm going to share with you about how sexual abuse can impact women. And it's big. I know I spoke a little bit about the various types of sexual abuses in previous episodes. We talked about exhibition. We talked about, regular, of course, full intercourse that someone might have with a child. We talked about molestation. I think there are other forms, but those are like the primary ones that I can think about at this particular moment. And all of these different types, whether it be pornography or anything that they're exposed to, is detrimental and can impact the development of a child. And if they don't process it immediately, there are after effects that are revealed and displayed by that child, whether it be emotionally and sexually. They may begin to act out. Some children begin to become confused about their identity and their sexual orientation. There are so many detrimental effects to sexual abuse that if you're not educated on it, you will miss it. Okay, you will totally miss it. There are some kids that display enuresis, right? Which means, of course, either they're going to be urinating a lot on themselves or they may defecate a lot on themselves. These are real symptoms. And when these things happen and kids are about 12, 13, and 14, and they're still experiencing these things, this is an eye-opener. Something is going on with that child. A 13-year-old should not be defecating on themselves. Okay, that this is just real. This is real talk here. And so it's important. It's important that you really take a look at this topic, because if it's not dealt with, especially for females, they will begin to become sexually promiscuous. They will actually allow themselves to be opened up to so many things out there, prostitution. Right? It can lead to them being confused about their sexual orientation and wanting to, of course, or having an attraction to women, to other women or people of the same sex. Okay? These are impacts and effects of sexual abuse for children, female children, that have experienced it. Okay? And so it's important for you to realize these things. And if you see these things going on, you want to address it with the caretaker or the parents, or, of course, a mandated reporter. This is someone who works with children in a caretaker responsibility. So if they're watching, babysitting a kid, if they're a pastor, if they're a teacher, any type of capacity where they have they have the capacity to supervise or watch a child, yeah, you want to report it, especially if you know that that caretaker is taking advantage of the child. You want to get in contact with your local social service agency or, some type of legal and law enforcement and let them know about what you've witnessed or you have factual information about. So this is just something that I really wanted to share with you, that it's real. And the impact of sexual abuse on women is real, because if they don't receive the help, it sends them down a different path, right? And it encourages a longer detour to their destination. Now, notice I said that it's a longer detour. It doesn't mean that they're not going to reach their destination as far as their career or they're reaching their goals, because some women still do. But it can become a longer journey because they haven't dealt with the issues. And even if you're a female right now, you're saying, well, Lakeisha, I've dealt with it, right? I've dealt with it. I've struggled with it. I still haven't fully overcome. I haven't gotten to that point where I can fully talk about it, right? Okay, I'm going to be obedient at this particular moment. I don't know how many of you are spiritually minded, but I'm just going to pray for those of you listening in right now who've experienced this, know someone who's going through this, and just need encouragement and empowerment. So just a quick little moment of prayer. This is not, of course, a church service, right? But I'm just going to ask God just to help those of you who are listening and struggling still with this in your lives. So Father, touch every listener right now who is dealing with the aftermath of sexual abuse or any type of abuse or neglect in their lives. God, touch them emotionally, touch them spiritually, help them, Father God, to walk in deliverance, God. Touch them and give them a renewed sense of joy, a renewed sense of peace. Help them to receive the empowerment, the resources that they need so they can push forward in their lives and fulfill your perfect will in their lives. And so, God, we thank you so much for each and every person that's just being transparent in this moment and acknowledging where they are. And so help them to just move forward and to be all that you've called them to be. In Jesus' name, amen. And so I just wanted to say that, it's okay. It's okay that the experience has happened to you, because that just means that you have not thrown in the towel and that there's someone that's going to be connected to you, right? Who may need your words of encouragement. They may need to hear about your story of your resilient story. They may need to hear about that. And the fact that you're still here and that you've overcome means that that what you've experienced really was for someone else and not necessarily for you. Yes, it's made you stronger, but there's someone else who needs that strength that you have. And so I just wanted to share that with you. I felt that was very, very important to let you know. But for those of you who know other women who are struggling with sexual abuse as a child, they experienced it. If you know someone right now who's struggling with neglect, they've been neglected as a child, they still have not patched up those old relationships with their caretakers, get them to listen in. This is really important to do so. I just want to let you know, I posted something on Facebook that's really profound. I said that unforgiveness, right, can lead to and strengthen self-imprisonment. It's important that you free yourself by forgiving yourself and the person who took advantage of you as a child, took advantage of you, whether it be as an adult, right? Forgive yourself, forgive them. Forgive them. Because truth be told, we've all done things that we should not have done. And neither one of us, we're not perfect at all, right? But we're in the process of becoming better. And sometimes we may do things that we ought not to do in that process. But as long as we have a heart of forgiveness, we'll all make it to our destinations. All of us. And so definitely, I want to encourage you, first and foremost, for those of you who are already in the group on Facebook, I challenge you at about 10 o'clock to post on your wall tonight right? There's going to be an image that I'm going to post in the group. Invite them. Even if they haven't gone to the website yet, invite them. Okay. You want to encourage them, and I'll be encouraging them as well to visit the website, borntolead2017.com, so that their membership can be official. Because even though they're in the group, doesn't mean that they're official until they fill out the form at the website. Okay. So invite them, invite 50 women as soon as you enter the group, 50 women, so that you can become a star member. There are various levels in the group. There's star, there's diamond star, and there's platinum star. Okay. And with each level, there are different benefits that you're going to be given access to. For example, we're going to share information about your products and services, a part of your business that you have. We'll be allowing you to speak on certain occasions or share, some information on this podcast. You'll be learning about different people, right? And different business owners through this podcast. Remember, this podcast is being heard. You're listening to it from all around the world. I believe it's over 20 countries now, over 21 countries that listen in through this podcast. So, these are just some of the things that we allow to happen. So I'm hoping, of course, things are better. And though someone says that I'm fading in and out, hopefully you can hear me clearly. I know sometimes the internet is not its best. So again, if it's fading in and out, please excuse me for the technical issues. But again, 10 o'clock p.m., we want to post on our timelines with the website, www.borntolead2017.com, so that, we'll be able to allow people to know what we have going on. All right. So again, if you have questions, of course, I'll be answering questions inside the group. We have people, those of you who are new in the group, you joined in, maybe on the questionnaire, you selected that you wanted to learn about becoming a state ambassador for, of course, for your state that you're residents of. This means that you're just going to be advocating for women in your state and informing them of what we have going on in your state pertaining to the campaign. You'll also be inviting them to events that we have going on, whether nearby or afar. That way they can get plugged in. Okay, so these are some of the things, some of the responsibilities that you would have as a state ambassador. And we actually formed the group, and some of the ambassadors, if not all of them, are added to the group already on Facebook. And so we're consistently adding ambassadors. And what this means is our goal is to have a minimum of 2 per state or country and a maximum of 5. Okay, 2 minimum, maximum 5. If you have questions about state ambassadorship or country ambassadorship, feel free to ask inside of the group on Facebook or comment to this podcast episode and we'll give you more information. Okie dokie. So I'm going to begin to wrap up with this. Know that you are loved. I posted it on my wall. If I didn't post it yesterday, it might have been the day before. That I love each and every one of you. I might not even know you. Might not have even seen your face. But I love each and every one of you who are connected to this campaign and listening in. I just wish that God's richest blessings would be upon you and your household. And that, you will really walk in what God has for you. So again, thank you so much. Get connected to the campaign. borntolead2017.com. Remember to come back here tomorrow at 9 o'clock p.m. because we're going to be here live. But until then, I encourage you to think, speak, and live leadership.